This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's Friday, September 10th, 2021, and it's the Relevant Podcast. 2 a week now. This is the second episode of this week. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, it's Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Austin, Texas, author, podcaster, speaker, Jamie Ivey.
Hey, guys.
And from Nashville, Tennessee, artist, producer, mogul, interviewer, and a little flimmy today, Derek Miner.
Howdy.
Let's hear the phlegm. You gave us a phlegm warning. Is it the fall? is it the fall allergies hitting you?
I might have a little bit of leftover COVID.
Oh, it's COVID phlegm.
Yeah.
He was on for so long, longer than he's invited. You're like, COVID, why are you still here?
Yeah, it's definitely not pretty.
So this is actually an interesting show because coming up later, we talk to Oscar winner, Grammy winner. She's got the go of the EGOT. Jennifer Hudson is joining us. And guess what? Guess who's interviewing Jennifer Hudson? Our very own Derek Miner. Derek Miner and Jennifer Hudson have a conversation coming up later. He did it for our new issue of Relevant, which we told you guys about on Tuesday. It came out this week. Our fall issue is out. One of the highlights of the issue is that conversation. You're going to hear some of it on today's podcast.
She's having a moment right now. Respect. Her Aretha Franklin biopic is out. I saw it. Really great. I love music biopics. I actually got to go. The film release was delayed quite a bit because of the COVID stuff. But prior to COVID, I actually got to do a set visit and briefly got to. It was kind of off the record deal. But we got to, actually observe one of the, a pivotal scene in the movie being shot. And then afterward, Jennifer Hudson was she's such a nice person. She took time to talk to everybody who'd come for the visit. And she seemed like a genuinely warm, cool individual who, seemed to take time. Because that day there were a lot of like extras on set and things like that. It was if people have seen the film, it was one of the scenes in her father's church early on. And, so they had a lot of people, a lot of extras present that day. And it was these people had to wear like period specific clothing like all day. And, being an extra in a scene like that literally takes from morning until evening to shoot.
You get $50.
Yeah, it's a long
Free
deal.
Popcorn.
Yeah, exactly. And a little boxed up meal. So these people, we're super patient and it's a lot of standing around waiting for your call. And Jennifer Hudson genuinely made people feel very special on set. Like she's this big movie star and everyone from press that was there to crew members to all the extras, she made them feel very appreciated. Derek, what was the experience like talking to her, man?
Yeah, I know. I went to see it maybe a month before it came out. And she did an interview with my homie Phil Thornton here at the Nashville African American Museum of Music. And man, like watching her talk and just her demeanor really, really felt like just talking to one of my cousins. Just she really feels warm as a person. You know what I mean?
Like to the touch?
Well, I didn't get it. I never met her.
I shook her hand. She was
very warm.
Can you confirm that her hand is warm? Okay, great.
It was concerning.
But absolutely in the sense of just like, she just feels like a person that really cares about people, cares about her art. She's a woman of faith, so loves God. And I really enjoyed my interview with her and the time that I got to spend with her. So she's dope. I rock with her.
That. You would think that by looking at her, like you would assume those things. So it feels good to hear someone say like, oh, I interacted with her and she actually is the way you would imagine she would be.
I kind of want one time for it to be the opposite. Like you meet the real life Mr. Rogers and they're just a total
dude.
jerk.
That's like what everybody says about Ellen. Like she's this affable, fun woman, and she's horrible behind the scenes and like is abusive to her staff.
That about Ellen because Ellen's so cool on TV, man.
During COVID,
they shut down her show, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the word on the street is she's kind of a bully.
But I've heard like the people who are genuinely like Jimmy Fallon. You hear that Jimmy Fallon is like what you guys are saying about Jennifer Hudson. Like in real life, he's just Jimmy Fallon, and he's nice.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the way to go. Like
that
be
how
who you are. Be who you are in real life. I mean, I don't know. Did you
People
tell me?
if a fan came up to you in the airport and you got your headphones on and you're just not in the mood, I mean, are you Jennifer Hudson and Jimmy Fallon to that fan?
I try to be, because this is what I realized. Like, for someone to work up the courage to talk to somebody that they really admire, the last thing you want to do is leave the impression of, because in their mind, it's like they're never going to see you again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like the last thing I want to do is give you the worst impression in the world. Like I remember seeing a celebrity, I ain't gonna say his name, but this was back when I first started rapping or whatever. And somehow I got in a party I wasn't supposed to be in. Like one of my manager at the time knew somebody that was super duper popular. And I got in this party and I remember asking to take a picture. Now in hindsight, I get it. Bro was trying to kick it. Mm-hmm. But he was so like, this is one of my favorite rappers. And I was like, dang, bro, this dude, I get to see this guy. And I got to see him. And it just really did not, he was really very, very unwarm. He's very cold, very like, get out of my face, little dork, what are you doing in here? But I'll say that at the same party, I met CeeLo Green.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now you want to talk about a nice guy. CeeLo Green is a really, really nice dude. I was like, yo, you're a legend, I was like, yo, I was super like fanboying out the wazoo, and he was just like, yo, let's take a picture.
Did he have a pet toucan with him?
No, he did not. He didn't have this was CeeLo before
he got kind of weird.
Before Gnarls Barkley. Yeah, this is right before Gnarls Barkley. This right before he started doing that stuff. And
I'm a fan. My Xbox gamer name is Gnarls Barkley. I'm a fan.
Well,
man.
I'll tell you this: if you get to meet CeeLo, you will really enjoy me. Talking to him. He's a cool guy.
I always think when people come up and say like, oh, I listened to your show or whatever, the thing I always think is like, if you didn't listen, I don't have a job without you, So I'm
Facts.
like, I don't want to be me. And I'm a nice person in general, but I'm like, I'm so happy you said hi because thank you for listening. You're paying my bills, Thank you. I love it. Yeah. It's fun to see like, oh, you're actually listening to the show. This is fun.
But don't be a jerk. Don't be the guy that's like, because I've had this happen too. Like,
you mean the jerk of someone coming up to you?
No. I'm in the bathroom.
Oh.
I'm midstream.
No, that's...
And you're like, Derek. And I'm like, turned around like, what's up, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or don't be the guy like, I'm out with the family. We having a good time. And you just like take over the whole time. Like, it's cool. You got to be cool too. Like, I just wanted to make that be known too. Like, you don't want to be that guy that's just like, I'm midstream in the bathroom. It's like, bro, right now, my bladder is running. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like that video that was going around this week of that kid. Well, I say kid. He claimed to be 22 years old, who had like traveled across the country to sneak into like an event that Logan Paul was going to be at, and like pitched himself to be like, he was like, listen, I want to work for you, and like. The guy in his TikTok video claimed to have left a $100,000 a year job as a welder. And he was going to go and pitch himself. And he just, like, the problem is it's not with the gumption to go do that. Because even someone who, I can't say I'm a fan of the Paul brothers, but, to Logan Paul's credit, at least in the video, he gave the guy the time of day. And he's like, all right, well, what are you good at? And the guy froze right there. Like, he absolutely, he's like, oh,
ready.
Like, I did some dance videos. He's like, all right, are you good? He's like, no, I'm not that good. He's like, well, why should I hire you? He's like, and the kid's like, I need a mentor. He's like, well, what value are you bringing? He's like, I don't know. And Logan Paul is like giving the kid every opportunity to be like, look, man, you snuck in here. You're up in my face. That's something you shouldn't be in, but I appreciate the gumption. Give me the pitch here. So if you're going to approach a celebrity, especially if you want to come out swinging with some big idea, at least have it together. Like, I don't know if a lot of people know this story, but like even like guys like the comedians Tim and Eric, who I'm a big fans of both those guys, Tim Heidecker and Eric Wareheim. They've kind of gone their separate ways and are doing their own separate things, but I've been a big fan of their comedy. How they got started is they met in film school and sent actual VHS tapes to Bob Odenkirk, who now is famously, he was Saul Goodman, but prior to that, he was a pretty well-known comedy writer, Bob Odenkirk, before he was, Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad and all the other things he's doing. But the envelopes were so hilarious that Bob Odenkirk opened them and watched them and got them a deal with Adult Swim. You can approach celebrities cold, whether through the mail or on the street, but at least to Derek's point, one, don't be a jerk or entitled, and two, if you got something to pitch, at least have it together. Don't make the Logan Paul situation, because Cameron, I'm sure you've been approached at events and things before where someone will come to you, pitch you something that isn't fully baked, and you kind of just have to be nice and listen to it.
Yeah, that's true.
Are you nice, or do you say like, dude, come back when you're ready?
No, it's not. I mean, I haven't left the house in 2 years, so it hasn't really.
They're knocking on your door.
Yeah, I've pretty well insulated myself from bad pitches.
But I don't fault. This is the thing too. Like, I don't fault people for pitching things to me.
Shoot your shot, man. Yeah.
Shoot your shot. Like that. That is. I understand that kind of. There's a level of weight that there's artists that believe if they can get to me, I can help them get to the next level. Mm-hmm. That's great. I think the mistake that a lot of people make is they don't ask themselves, what value do I bring to Derek? What value do I bring to Cameron? What value do I bring to Jamie? Because at the end of the day, I'm a businessman. Like, if you come to me with an idea that's like, yo, this is killer, I'll give you the time of day. I respect good business. But, if it's like, hey, listen, man, please sign me and make me just as popular as you. I'm like, bro, yeah. I can't do that, bro. Like, I don't even know how I got here, to be honest. So
the thing I get more than anything is not like pitches, but like how did you do this? How did you do that? And they want the cheat sheet, you built this. I like it. I want to do it too. So tell me how you did it. And I'm like, well, it took 8 years to get the, I mean, it's like, you don't want the real story, and there is no cheat sheet. There's no corners to cut. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, it's the grind. It's not some secret formula. It's grinding it. And they just don't want to hear that, Yeah. So
all that to say, I did ask Jennifer Hudson to her face for a role in the film. And I was shooting my shot, and I was escorted from the set. And
I figured you had a role.
No, I was pitching a character that wasn't involved in Aretha's Franklin story. That could have been just kind of it was kind of a funny,
maybe later.
It was a funny British persona, and also the character was a time traveler, so it would have met. But the hijinks he gets himself into in the film would have really it would have dramatically altered the plot. But I just don't think her or the director were open to it, and frankly, I think it was their loss. And
yeah, I feel like time travel would mess this one up.
But again, he's a hilarious British time traveler that gets himself in all kinds of hijinks as he's jumping from cultures and different eras. It would have been a hilarious take on the Motown era through the lens of a Mr. Bean type of guy, but they didn't even want to hear it. They didn't even, they could have done script alterations. It's their limited vision, so they're lost.
All right. Also, don't miss it. At the end of the show, we have a very special game. It is now post Labor Day, and it is officially the fall season. So that might have inspired the game we have coming up later. But right now, stay tuned. Up next, it's Relevant News. You're listening to Royal Otis. The song is Without You. Well, today's show is brought to you by UHSM. I know we're all tired of the rising costs of healthcare, and that's why we're so happy to share a little bit about WeShare. WeShare is a health sharing program powered by UHSM, a Christian health sharing ministry. Now, health sharing is not insurance. These programs are member-based fellowships where faithful people exercise their right to take charge of their own healthcare. Learn more about how WeShare is restoring faith in healthcare at WeShare.org. That's WeShare.org. Okay, it's time for
Relevant News.
Please welcome to the show Relevant Senior Editor Tyler Huckabee. covering the intersection of faith and culture. Hey, man.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, by the way, congrats on the fall issue of Relevant. It is phenomenal. You and the team did an amazing job, man. It was such a good read.
I hope people it's out in the wild now, and it's fun to see reactions coming. I hope you'll enjoy it.
And it's packed with huge names.
Oh, as per usual.
Yeah. Yeah. Exceptionally packed. Exceptionally packed. We got the King Derek Minor in there too. Yeah.
Mess with your boy, you know what I'm saying?
All right, so what's going on this week, Tyler?
Well, we wanted to talk about we're recording this on Tuesday, and it is the day after Labor Day here, and we wanted to take a minute to remember the legacy of Michael K. Williams, who passed away on Monday, was found in his home in New York City. Michael K. Williams, obviously, you throw around words like iconic actor, but they really do, in this case, apply. Just one of the most mesmerizing actors of his generation, and really most generations. He was an all-time great ensemble team player, stood out in every role. He'll undoubtedly be remembered for scene-stealing turns on Boardwalk Empire, The Night of, 12 Years a Slave, and of course, The Wire, where his iconic portrayal of Omar Little was really one for the ages, and he is currently nominated for an Emmy for his role in Lovecraft Country. Yeah. He was born in Brooklyn. If you haven't seen Lovecraft Country yet, by the way, that show, I feel like a lot of people kind of slept on it because it came out mid-pandemic and all of that.
That show is rocks. Amazing. It's phenomenal.
They canceled
it.
He's
terrific. And it was a one and done season.
I don't know why they did it, because they are idiots for doing that. But maybe it's because the lead guy is playing Kang the Conqueror and
that's the
Marvel. So maybe that was it.
But Williams was really, really good, and he was really, really good in everything. And we've posted a little bit about his life and his legacy on the site. Now, we got to talk to him at Relevant. We had an interview with him. This was back in 2015. We were talking to him about Boardwalk Empire and his role there. And I was going back and listening to some
2014.
Was it 14? Was it 14?
Wow.
Wasn't that long ago?
Yeah, I found the issue where he was on the cover, and it was 2014. And then Stephen Taylor, who was the photographer who shot the cover for us, posted some photos from that shoot I saw on Instagram this week. Yeah. And he referenced it was 2014. Time flies. Yeah.
One of the best shoots I think that we've done too.
Yeah, that was phenomenal.
That was really, awesome. Really good looking.
Yeah.
Really good
he posted one on his Instagram. And I was like, I didn't see that one. Like, you didn't send that one over.
He's keeping the good ones for himself.
He's keeping the good ones for himself.
But I was listening to the conversation that I had with him when I was interviewing him about this, and a couple of really interesting things stood out. And Clark, I think I sent a couple of those clips your way, and we may not have time to listen to all of them. But when we were talking, he was talking about his role in The Wire, and he was saying there was an Omar in every city. And so I asked him what he hoped that Omar in every city would think, or what they would feel when they watched The Wire, like what impact they hoped that would have on them. And I found his answer quite profound. Here's what he said.
Well, I would hope that humanity would want to have no more wires. We don't need no more wires. We don't need no more Breaking Bads. And I'm not talking about the TV show. I'm talking about people who live that lifestyle. Those shows are entertainers. I call it edutainment. It's there to educate us on a society, on a part of society, or a part of our culture. To show how people are living in our country, in our world. And people are hurting. These shows are about people who are in pain. And I would hope that, mankind, human race, would want to not have any more, Omars running around. No more cities to make another Wire and, or Breaking Bad. And, these shows are, they're groundbreaking and they're very entertaining, but let's not forget the fact that these people, these characters are in so much pain. They're, struggling so hard with whether it's with addiction or, living lives of crime, feeling like there's no other way out but to sell drugs, or coming from, broken families or being born addicted to drugs. These are not things that, these shows are based on people's real lives, and we can't lose sight of that as a society. And I would hope that that's what people would walk away from the most.
Beautiful.
He really did have, this gift of, finding and selecting roles that really illuminate that just what he's talking about in that clip, the real struggles that people in this country who are often marginalized face. And you kind of get to the motivation. It's easy to kind of take the view of just looking at stats about, things that are looked at as sort of, social ills, whether it could be something like homelessness or drug use or crime or, see kind of sensationalized headlines. But then you watch a performance from an actor like Michael K. Williams and you develop real empathy, not just for the characters, but for the communities that sometimes those characters represent. And you realize, people that are in pain or are in desperate situations because of circumstances outside of their control, it's easy to pass judgment on different actions. But once you kind of are dropped into these different worlds, whether it's The Wire, whether it's The Night Of, whether, any number of projects he's been involved with, you realize, the real struggles that a lot of people in this country are isolated from. And, having the sort of not just insights into the problem, because obviously, David Chase with The Wire was a former crime reporter. So there's some genuine insights into that world, but also the humanity that an actor like Michael K. Williams can bring. I feel like that's the kind of thing that causes actual social change, not just like, hey, we got all these problems in the world. It's like, no, these are real people, man. And performances that he kind of was able to produce throughout his career really demonstrate the humanity behind some of these problems, behind some of the social issues.
Yeah, that's what I would say the beauty of a lot of the roles that he played. If you've ever never seen him have a conversation with himself about being typecasted, it's the most phenomenal video that I've ever seen. Just like, as far as especially being a black person, like, I really identify with that video a lot. And I think, for people that have been marginalized, they would identify with that. But if you get a chance, Google it. But anyhow, I think the thing about his characters that really stuck with me is he did a great job of being able to show the pain that those characters were dealing with. Like, even in Lovecraft Country, like, when you first see him, you think one way about him, but towards the end of the film, you see him in a different light. And it doesn't change the decisions that a person makes, but that, I think, just the ability to be able to have you dislike a character when you have very little context, and then as the context grows, have you fall in love with a character. Like, that is a gift that not a lot of people have. And I think that's what Michael had. Like, especially when you look at Omar Little. People love Omar. Now, when you look at Omar was a character that on the outside, you would say he has nothing to offer the world. But by the time you got towards the end of his arc, you're like, there's a tension that made you feel the humanity of his character. And not many people could portray that, but Michael K could definitely do that. And that's why I respected him as an actor and really feel it's a heavy burden, knowing that he's gone, especially, if how he died was, how they're saying he's died initially is how it is. It definitely, with my father dealing with the addiction things and different things like that, is just knowing the pain. But maybe that may be the reason why he was able to show those different levels, because he had his own struggles as well.
So I did ask, and I don't often ask this, but I asked him in that conversation what he hoped that his legacy would be, what he hoped that he'd be remembered for. And what he said, this isn't what you usually get from these guys, but he said, I'd hope people remember me. This is the quote. I'd hope people remember me for the work that I do off camera. I want to go back to my underserved community and ease the pain a little bit that I grew up in, that I grew up seeing. I hope to one day use the platform that's been given to me to shed light on certain walks of life, to show people in pain and to help and to be a voice. And as I was reading today, I came across the work and writing of an activist named Sage Young, who worked there in New York as well. And she said that Williams was really as good as his word in that regard. I don't think she knows about this conversation that we had, but she said, I used to be on staff at one of the many organizations that Michael K. Williams supported, and he was the one celebrity you could always count on to show up. He shared his time, talent, and spirit with those kids, and the impact of that cannot be overstated. So a great actor and also a very good man on screen and off screen. And it's very, very sad to lose him like this.
Very sad. Very sad. Well, we actually have that full cover story is available for free over at relevantmagazine.com. You should go read it. It reads differently now, like Yeah, it's different. Well, thanks, Tyler. There's a lot more that we're covering every day. Follow Relevant on all the socials. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of them. And check out relevantmagazine.com. All right. Stay tuned. Up next, Derek Minor talks to Jennifer Hudson.
You think that I'm just some great survivor? You think that I'm just some great survivor? I'm afraid of the way the world is catching up with you.
You're listening to Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. The song is Survivor. Well, today's show is also brought to you by the new book, Believing is Seeing. The question is, who or what is your God? Dr. Michael Gillen, a best-selling author, Emmy Award-winning journalist, and former physics instructor at Harvard, used to be an atheist until science changed his mind. Once of the opinion that people of faith are weak, small-minded folks who just don't understand science, Dr. Gillen ultimately concluded that not only does science itself depend on faith, but faith is actually the mightiest power in the universe. Dr. G is a PhD in physics, mathematics, and astronomy. And he explains why science is not the enemy of faith. After studying all the religions, Christianity actually has the most in common with science. Read all about it in Dr. G's new book, Believing is Seeing, which is available now wherever books are sold. Well, our guest today is award-winning actress and singer Jennifer Hudson. After getting her start on American Idol, J. Hud has soared to greatness, releasing 3 albums, performing in Broadway musicals like The Color Purple and Hairspray, and starring in movies like Dreamgirls and Sing. She's starring as the iconic Aretha Franklin in the new biopic Respect, and was actually handpicked for the role by the Queen of Soul herself. She sat down with none other than our very own Derek Minor to talk about Aretha's life and influence. Here's a little bit of our conversation between Derek Minor and Jennifer Hudson.
How is Aretha doing?
Aretha's doing all right.
Just all right. Singing is sacred, and you shouldn't do it just because somebody wants you to. What's most important is that you are treated with dignity and respect.
So, do you remember where you were when you first heard that Aretha wanted you to play her?
Yes. Well, let's see. When we first had our first meeting about it, I was in New York. And we met at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. When she called me and said, dang, I was in New York again. When she finally made her decision that she wanted me to play her, it was on my Color Purple run. And I was in New York yet again when she gave me that call, said, it is you, young lady, who I want to play me. It's a lot to take in. You know, it's the Queen of Soul and someone that I've always looked up to. So to meet her alone is like freak you out. And then for her to say she wanted me to play her. And it was also my dream too. When you add all of that up, it's like I have to take it in parts.
It's really good.
I got a single by this new chick named Aretha Franklin.
Now, you said that was your dream. What was one of the first experiences you had growing up with Aretha or with listening to her music growing up?
I don't remember a time without her music. But Dr. Feelgood comes to mind. You know, I remember hearing people talk about the subject nature of the song and how bold it was coming from a woman and stuff like that. But as a small kid, you know, and then she was always been present in my church roots, you know, unconsciously so, which I didn't realize until filming. Like, wait a minute, the rendition of Amazing Grace we grew up singing in church was from her Amazing Grace album, you know? Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of that, what was the most surprising thing you learned about Aretha while you went through this whole process? Like, was there anything that just kind of like, wow, just blew you away?
I didn't know she had 8 albums before her big hit, Never Loved a Man. I didn't know about her activism and how active she was with that, and how close she was to Dr. King as well.
Get up, put on some clothes, get out and help them find somebody for themselves if I can. Yes, I will.
Okay, all right. So as you got a chance to go through her life and to study what her journey looked like, and was there anything that you personally thought, I have to get this right? If I don't get anything else right, I absolutely have to get this right.
Her faith, like maintaining that, like that was key from start to finish. Like, or keeping the gospel in every song. I'm like, it didn't matter what genre she went from and to. The gospel was always the base of it all, the blueprint. The goal was to try to live it, experience it as she did in her life. You know, like the church sings. It's like you can't script that. Roll the camera. Let's have church. And I'm a church girl, so it's like I couldn't tell the difference if I'm like, this don't feel like a film. It doesn't feel like a set. It feels like church. But let's keep it authentic in that way. Or songs that she was learning. It was live. Everything was live. Like those were real musicians on the set. I'm a singer. So it's like, okay, we're going to sing these songs right here. We're going to experience this. And the reactions were real. We were really just in the moment. So maybe that's what you sense.
Amazing grace.
Here's a question. Do you feel like being raised in the church helped you a lot when you made this movie?
Oh my God. Yes. Without it, ain't no way in the world I would have been able to do this. And that's what carried me through it. Like my faith, it brought me all the way through it, because it's not an easy thing to do, or to want to do either. And then it's needed because that was a huge part of her. And I don't think there's enough research that can be done, at least not to make it that, make it authentic. And it's just as real to me. Like, again, it was times when we were, all the time, every time we was in a church scene, I'm like, you can't script church. Let's just have church, and you just roll your camera and you catch it. You know what I mean? But we have to be in the moment, and that's church. You can't duplicate that. You can't fake it. And you only know that if you come from the church. I know we all have a respect for Miss Aretha Franklin, but by the time you get to the end of the film, I want you to have a newfound respect for her.
That was Jennifer Hudson. Make sure to check out more of that conversation with her in the brand new digital fall edition of Relevant. You can read it right now, ad-free and for free over at relevantmagazine.com. Just click on the magazine tab. Okay, stay tuned. Up next, it's our game.
Nah. I'm gonna be joyful. I'm gonna be joyful today. I'm gonna be joyful. Yes, I am. I'm gonna be joyful today. I got the joy.
You're listening to Dante Bowe. The song is Joyful. Well, today's episode is brought to you by podcast creation platform Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor yet, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's free. There are custom tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and every major platform. The cool thing is you can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Okay, no, I'm going to read it. Tyler wrote this. Okay, I'm just reading. I am Ron Burgundying this thing. I'm just reading what's on the teleprompter. Do you feel that? The slightest chill in the air. The green leaves getting the slightest hint of gold at their tips. White girls pulling their enormous hats out of the closet. Yes, fall is in the air, and that means it's time to start thinking about curling up with a good book and piping hot mug of pumpkin spice, whatever, while listening to your favorite song. And since it's fall, that good book many of us will be curling up with will be from our favorite genre, Christian romance. But how well do you know your Christian romance fiction?
I don't
In
know
this
any.
game, you'll be given a name and you simply have to guess if it's the title of a Christian romance novel or the title of a Taylor Swift song. The person who wins will be crowned the king or queen of autumn 2021. So that's...
I'm going to fail.
Derek, remember when I told you about Christian romance novels?
Yeah, I remember that.
But okay,
I had. That's when I had first
Derek
heard of
was
them
like,
when you
"What?"
said
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Listen, before we get in, I do have a
There's
question about
lots of
Christian
money in
romance
this.
now. I love the concept for this game, but I feel like we'd be amiss if we didn't unpack the concept of Christian romance novels for just 1 second for
please.
context. Because my concept, I've never read any Christian or non-Christian. I've never read a romance novel, but my understanding of them is the idea is from the cover, which also often features some sort of oiled up, muscle bound, buccaneer.
That's how Fabio got famous.
Yeah. Buccaneer that's coming into the ranch as like the vagrant ranch hand who has a heart of gold and a mysterious past, but it's meant to titillate, right? Like that's the whole idea.
Don't ever say that word again on this podcast.
I didn't make it. Listen, if I handed you a book called, One Night Under the Stars, and it has an oiled up guy with like sleeves rolled up, like, that's somehow breaking broncos. Breaking wild broncos in front of a campfire out on some dude ranch.
Yeah.
I'd say, what is the point of this book? And you would say, probably to titillate. That's probably it. That's probably it. I'm just saying,
Derek's
that's nothing.
face is like, what am I doing with my life?
It is, guys. It is what it is. But the irony is, when I see a Christian romance novel, it's generally someone from the Amish or Mennonite community on there.
Yeah.
And not only are they not oiled up, they seem to, they're like bonneted.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got a lot of clothes on.
It seems like the opposite of titillation. Okay. It's like, this looks like a book that's going to have an extended, like, musing about churning butter. Like, the romance of their lifestyle involves very boring things. Jamie, please tell me I'm wrong about this genre.
I don't know that you're wrong, but you guys, I just looked up how much money does the romance novel industry make? Are you ready for this? According to the Romance Writers of America, the romance fiction industry is worth $1.8 billion a year.
Oh, it's time for me to start some titillating, boy.
Some titillating.
Listen.
I'm done with this rapping. It's time to start titillating. Hey,
Jamie, I got to be honest.
Run it up.
I was going to save my character, Sir Rupert Tappy Smith, as a funny, way to, he was getting hijinks. I think he needs to be a romance. I think he's a British hunk.
Yes, but you know what? The ones with like, the Amish all buttoned up, those sometimes once you get to it's like that Christian freakiness, it just is a whole nother level in those romance novels.
And
it's crazy.
And side note, I'm going to need, we just going to have to acknowledge, I understand, this is the thing. I never thought that there would be Christian romance novels, Jamie, but I do know there's a lot of freaks in Christian world. Like, them church camps, youth group,
look at Jerry
all that
Falwell
stuff.
Jr.
There's a lot of titillating going on in people's youth groups right now. We just letting y'all know right now. They going off, acting like they finna go pray or whatever at the camp.
They're a lady in the streets and a freak in the bed.
There's some hands being laid on in the church camps, cuz.
There's a whole book of the Bible that's dedicated to just flowery, titillating analogies about fawns and, weird fruit
Coconuts.
trees and, and it's like, I get why the genre exists and I get why it makes sense.
Jamie, do they go there? I need to know,
I actually, the only romance novel I've ever read would be Redeeming Love. And I think that falls under Christian romance. I think we talked about that one time on here, Francine Rivers. It's had sold $1 million worth. But the reason you don't know about it, Derek, is because also, according to Nielsen book scans, romance novel readers are overwhelmingly white, young, and female. So this is just, I don't know. I don't read romance novels.
Also,
but do they go there though? In Redeeming Love, is it like she's at a youth group camp?
No, this takes place in 1940s 1800s gold rush in California. I think is when Redeeming Love takes place. So they got all the long dresses on.
So when I do my romance novel, I'm going there. It's gonna be a guy named Jeff and a girl named Hannah. And Jeff and they all are in a youth group. They probably both went to Oral Roberts. They're going to Oral Roberts next year. And you know what I'm saying? And they gonna get it on.
They're gonna titillate
behind the barn or whatever out by the fire.
So basically, that I'm not gonna lie, Derek. That sounds like a very, very thin plot.
Well, hey, just put your British time traveler guy in there, and they just do it in different eras.
He's in.
Put Rupert Tappy Smith in there, and then he'll just take them, and they'll, instead of making out behind the barn, they'll make out in like 1860 or something.
Yeah, behind some Winchester Castle. It's
all
like
right.
What's that show everyone watching? What is that show everyone likes on PBS? The one that's like a romance.
Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
Bingo. Derek, you nailed it. We're gonna do it.
Let's go. That's what I'm saying.
Transport these youth groupers
bro.
to an abbey somewhere. Yeah.
All right. So it is time for
Christian romance or Taylor Swift.
So we're just going to go around the horn. Each of you are competing. I will say the name, and you will tell me if it is a title of a Christian romance novel or a Taylor Swift song. No Googling, please. Okay. Up first, Jesse, you're up. Here we go. King of My Heart.
That's got to be a romance novel.
That is a Taylor Swift song.
Is it about John Mayer?
All right. Jamie, State of Grace.
Christian romance novel.
That is a Taylor Swift song.
What?
State of Grace.
The grace threw me off.
Gotcha.
Okay. Derek Minor. The Day He Drove By.
Oh, that's definitely a romance novel.
That is a Christian romance novel. Derek is in the lead after one round.
Mess with your boy.
Can I be honest? The plot sounds pretty thin there too.
The Day He Drove By. He's
It sounds
stalking
like
you.
my favorite pop song that I love right now. You know, what's it called? Where I got my driver's license.
Oh,
The day
Olivia
you-
Rodrigo.
Yeah. Okay.
Driver's license.
Yeah, driver's license.
All right, here we go. Jesse, you're up. A Barefoot Tide. A Barefoot Tide.
That's. I mean, it could plausibly be either, but I'm going to say romance novel for this one.
It is a Christian romance novel. It is. All right,
Nice,
1 point for
nice,
Jesse.
nice.
All right, Jamie. The Lucky One.
I think it's a Taylor Swift song.
That is a Taylor Swift song. Good job. All right. You're on the board now. All right, Derek. They've caught up to you, but you can take the lead. Holy Ground.
Taylor Swift song.
It is a Taylor Swift song. Derek after 2 rounds is in the lead.
Mess with your boy.
Can I be honest? Can I be honest?
I'm
I'm glad.
take wagers on this stuff because I would not have put money on Derek leading this game after 2 rounds.
I will say this. I will say this though. If it would have made me very uncomfortable if it was a Christian romance novel called Holy Ground. Because I don't know what the story would involve, but I can kind of project romance, and it makes me feel a little weird that whatever romantic is happening on holy ground. Okay, makes me a little uncomfortable.
It's blasphemous. Whatever it is blasphemous.
Exactly. Like I'm pretty. Like it takes a lot to offend me, but I'm like, I don't know. There's an oiled up Amish gentleman on the cover, and it's called Holy Ground.
No. All right, you're up. All right, there you go, Jesse. All right, Jesse, you're up. Here we go. The Loneliest Tide. Not to be confused with the Barefoot Tide. The Loneliest Tide.
Okay, I'm gonna just double down and go romance novel here.
It's a Christian romance novel. Apparently, there's a big theme of tides and different types of tides.
Well, I'm sure.
Is this like the ocean tide?
Yeah, it's small coastal.
The tide of love? I don't know.
Yeah, well, they take place in some small, romantic, forgotten coastal
Seaside,
town.
coastal
town.
With the lonely, widowed, lighthouse keeper who also teaches Sunday school, but he's vowed never to marry again.
Right.
Yeah.
She's
And
married
then
to
Martha
Jesus.
moves in.
Yeah, and suddenly
And next thing
lighthouse
you know.
keeping, ain't what it used to be.
All right, Jamie, you're up. Here we go. Yesterday's Treasures.
That's a tough one. I ain't gonna even hold you.
I'm going to go Taylor Swift.
It's a Christian romance novel. Oh,
Yesterday's treasures.
So far, you're doing the worst. Okay. I would not have put money on this outcome so far.
It sounds like a boutique consignment store. Yesterday's treasures.
Yesterday's
Dude, check it out. I found an Essentials hoodie, man. This is from last year's drop over at Yesterday's Treasures, man. They got some good items.
Derek, you're up. Let's see if you can keep your lead. Or I guess Jesse caught up to you. Here you go. Take the lead again. The day he asked again. The day he asked again.
Romance novel.
It is a Christian romance novel. Derek is undefeated so far. I cannot believe this.
All right, so are they part of the same series? Boring things that happen the day he drove by, the day he asked again. What could be next? The day he drank coffee. Like just random days of doing like mundane things. Yeah.
All right. So after 3 rounds, Derek 3, Jesse 2, Jamie 1. Right? Yep. Clark is confirming. Here we go. Jesse, you're up. Back to December.
That sounds like my girl Tay Tay.
That's a Taylor Swift song, man. You guys are basically growing large hats right now and putting on warm colors, and a pumpkin spice drink is forming in your cup.
Hey, I ain't gonna hold you. I love pumpkin spice lattes. I love them.
It's showing your performance in this game.
Yeah.
I look down and my jeans are turning into black leggings as we speak right now. It's unbelievable what
it's like the picture in Back to the Future. You guys are getting all these right. You're becoming more and more.
I'm finna go get a pumpkin spice latte after the show. I ain't gonna even know. You know what I'm saying?
All right, back to this. Okay, Jamie, you're up. You belong with me. You belong with me.
Dang, you be giving her some hard ones though, bro. That's a rough one.
I'm going to go with Christian romance novel.
Okay, this is a trick question. You are correct.
It's both?
It's both. It is the name of a Taylor Swift song and a Christian romance novel. You belong with me. So you get it right. All right. Derek, to hold your lead, or to get your lead back, the last great American dynasty.
That is... What?
This sounds like a romance novel from the Trump
definitely
campaign.
a romance novel written by Donald Trump.
That is a Taylor Swift song. It's a Taylor Swift song.
What? What is it called? What's it called again?
The Last Great American Dynasty. So there you go. I don't know.
Yeah, you could have got me.
So it is 3-3-2 now, right? All right. Ooh, dead heat.
Because you gave me a freebie, Cameron. Thank you.
Well,
that's okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you couldn't miss that one, right?
Yeah.
All right, Jesse. Her cowboy billionaire birthday wish. Her cowboy billionaire birthday wish.
Oh, it's getting real now.
Good Lord. I mean, this could break either way, guys. I'm gonna go romance novel just because I'm very curious.
It's a Christian romance novel. Her cowboy billionaire birthday wish.
It's actually like, I'd read that. I'm very curious.
So I'm assuming the premise is she had a birthday and her birthday wish was for a cowboy billionaire. And then the wish was answered.
I mean, whose wish isn't that? I mean, cowboy billionaire.
My wish isn't that. Right. That's not my wish.
But hey, listen, if you're going to make a wish, shoot your shot. Once again.
Listen, you're a single girl looking for a husband. That's high on the list. Cowboy billionaire.
You can have the lonely widowed lighthouse keeper who's got a heart of gold. But listen, last time I checked, not the most lucrative career. I don't think the prospects are really going they're going in one direction with global warming here. I'd go with the cowboy billionaire if I were you.
All right. You're in the lead, Jesse. You got 4. All right. Jamie, The Story of Us.
Christian romance novel.
Taylor Swift song.
All
right.
I'm breaking all the stereotypes
Trying to catch up to Jesse. A hopeful path of her own. A hopeful path of her own.
A hopeful path of her own. We're going to go with Christian romance novel.
It is a Christian romance novel. You and Jesse are tied with 4, and Jamie has 2. I cannot believe this.
I'm glad they qualified that, by the way, with hopeful. There's not a path on her. She's hopeful.
All right. Miss Americana. This is you, Jesse. Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince.
Again, I'm going to go with a novel because I really want to read it.
It's a Taylor Swift song. All right, Jamie. The Lady and the Mountain Man.
Oh, that's totally a romance novel.
It is a Christian romance novel. Yes, that is. 3. You got 3.
Lady and the Mountain.
All right, Derek. The Archer.
The Archer.
The Archer.
Christian romance novel.
It's a Taylor Swift song. It's a Taylor Swift song.
For sure. Of course, why not?
Jesse 4, Derek 3, Jamie 2, right?
No, Jesse and Derek are tied.
We tied, yeah.
If I was the publisher of Christian romance novels, I would my job would only be come up with titles and then just hand them off to Ryan. It's The Lady and the Mountain Man is your job. Figure it out. I have no idea what it's about, but I love the title, and I want to find out who this lady is.
So
and what's up with this mountain man?
333?
332.
It's 4. Right? No, it's 443.
443.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 2 more quick rounds. Here we go. Lightning rounds. Jesse, Cowboys Bleed Red.
Romance novel.
Correct. Jamie, Illicit Affairs.
Taylor Swift. We're not writing about affairs.
That is a Taylor Swift song. That is right. That is not a Christian romance song.
Right.
Derek, Cruel Summer. Cruel Summer.
Taylor Swift.
It is a Taylor Swift song. You guys all got that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hit.
Jesse, My Stubborn Heart.
That's T Swift.
That's a Christian romance novel.
Oh, you got to work on your heart. Got to work on your heart.
Jamie, Once Upon a Prince.
Taylor Swift.
It's a Christian romance novel. Derek, you could win it right here if you get this. Forever and Always.
Romance novel.
It's a Taylor Swift song. You guys all got it wrong. All right. I have one last round. We can do one more. Here we go. Jesse, Love Comes Softly.
T Swift.
Christian romance novel. Jamie, A Perfectly Good Heart.
Romance novel.
It's a Taylor Swift song. For the win. Derek, get this right. Tied Together with a Smile.
Oh, that's definitely a romance novel.
It's a Taylor Swift song. We ended with a tie. But the tie was between the two guys, so that's still an unexpected outcome.
The score may indicate that this was a tie, but I think we all lost here. I think
we all did a little something.
I'm sorry. I wish No Big Deal was here. He's a huge Taylor Swift fan. I should have just called him up.
That's funny. All right. Well, that'll do it for the debut and finale of
Christian Romance or Taylor Swift.
Well, before we wrap up, I want to thank Jennifer Hudson for joining us today. Make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com for more of our conversation with her. She is featured in the new issue of Relevant. Also, make sure to check out her new biopic, Respect. It's great. Also, a little housekeeping. Remember, the show is now twice a week. This is the first week we've done a Tuesday and Friday episode. We are back to that schedule. You guys asked for it. We listened, and we're heading back to the Tuesday and Friday rhythm. So make sure to tell your friends and subscribe and talk about the show and post it in your stories and help us spread word that we are back to twice a week. You can also hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, by the way. Tell us what you think. While you're online hitting people up and doing stuff, head over to relevantmagazine.com to check out the brand new fall issue of the magazine. We've got incredible and thoughtful conversations with Jessica Chastain, Hillsong Young and Free, Andy Mineo. You heard about it on Tuesday. There's so many good articles, great collection of content, and you can find it all ad-free and for free over at relevantmagazine.com. Just click on the magazine tab. It's right there. And again, help us spread word. Also, while you're at the site, make sure to not miss a thing by signing up for our daily newsletter. It goes out every morning with the top 5 trending stories at Relevant every morning. Just the best of the best stuff. Keeps you in the know. You can sign up right there on the homepage at relevantmagazine.com. On that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Jamie Ivey.
And I'm Derek Minor.
We will see you all on Tuesday. Don't forget, we're doing 2 a week now. We'll see you on Tuesday. Have a good weekend, everyone.
for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
What could be next? The day he drank coffee.
Relevant Podcast Network.